doing? Hey guys, this is Babs Alexander, your international vocal coach, and I want to talk to you today. I really want to tell you a story, and then I'm going to tell you why I'm telling you these things, because it is so important. So please listen to the end. When I was younger, I was in choir, and I could, the alto section was not always, it looked like everybody wanted to be a soprano, and then the altos that was there, they act like they didn't want to sing. So I thought that if I would sing louder, I could offset the strength of the alto section, not knowing that it was hurting me. I've always been a loud person. I've always been a loud person. I would love to go to the ball games, and I would scream and holler, yay, yay, yay. And I didn't know that was hurting my voice. I didn't know that the screaming was hurting my voice. I would go to church and I was singing in the choir. Again, we didn't have enough altos, so I was powering up. Always thinking I'm always helping. Come to find out, I was hurting myself. I was damaging myself. I didn't even know why. Every time I would come to school on Monday, I was always hoarse. And my teacher was like, listen, I don't know what you're doing to your vocal cords. Every single week you go to church, you need to stop all that gospel music, And I used to hear them say that all the time. And I was like, oh, y'all just being mean. I love the Lord. I love the Lord. I did love the Lord. But I was ignorant to vocal health. And I didn't realize, the style and the way I was doing it. I felt the pain in the voice. I felt the hoarseness. Before you know it, I wind up with nodules. When I got to college, they put me on voice rest. Me on voice rest was terrible. I was trying to talk, looked like to me. My friends were so happy I was on voice rest, because I like talk. But anyway, putting me on voice rest was challenging. It was very challenging. I was writing on the board. Nobody was trying to hear. I'm like, and it was really painful, to a point that I was crying, which did not help, because I was adding more tension to myself, trying to go, I didn't know I was aggravating the vocal cords still. So the vocal cords didn't really have a chance to really heal and restore themselves, because I was still aggravating them, even with whispering. I didn't know all of that. I learned this stuff the hard way, y'all. I really did, because I didn't know the journey I had, and then it was already hard, challenging, when you had teachers hollering about, oh, you ain't nothing, you ain't gonna never be nothing, all kinds of hard and evil and crucial stuff. You already trying to make it, and classical music was not my it was not my beginning, and I'm already trying to learn something new. So with all that said, it was so challenging. But long story short, it got to a point where my teacher was like, you need to go to a voice doctor, because I don't hear the changes. I keep hearing all this raspiness in your voice, and you need to go to a voice doctor. So I got to the voice doctor. I think that was the first time I had ever seen like a vocal, like a scope deal down my throat. You could see the thick, the vocal cords. You saw normal ones where they thin and laid down flat. Mine was thick, and then they had knots on them. Then it got worse, and it was very painful to even swallow. Oh my God, I thought I was gonna die. And I also thought it wasn't gonna be any hope for me. Sorry about getting teary-eyed, but it was painful, to say the least, because my dream has always been to perform. So they sent me I was in Jackson, Mississippi, and they was like, no, well, we're not equipped to work on professional singers, because if we do something wrong, we can't afford for you to sue us. So I was like, okay. They said you have to go to a voice center. So there were two national voice centers. One was Yale University, and the other one was Vanderbilt University, and they both had voice centers. And the time, by me being in Jackson, I thought that it would be best to fly into Vanderbilt. And so my mom had to come in, and they took me for analyzation, and they were saying, well, listen, we can get you back healthy. You got to go through voice therapy. And this is why I've learned so much, because going through it and being with teachers and, interviewing these teachers consistently and talking to them, it's so important that you really take time to manage the one instrument. I keep telling you how fragile your voice is. Your voice is very, very fragile. And if you have a child that you know they're loud and they're very they want to do all of the singing, they're abusive with it, or they're screaming and hollering all the time, you gotta tell them to take it down, because if that's really what you want to do, we have to sacrifice and get ourselves together and start to learn how to project in a different way. And that was another thing I had to learn. So it's a lot, but I know that, guys, back to hurting your voice, I don't want you to hurt your voice. I want you to understand how important it is for you to take the time to work on doing those vocal exercises, doing the breathing exercises, doing the belting exercises. And I'll do more of them with you, but I need you to understand that, because the more you understand and the more you start to be able to appreciate your God-given voice, then the better you can be able to help somebody else. All right? Well, that's it for today. Stop whispering, stop screaming, stop shouting, and leave your comment below and let me know if this has helped you. Love y'all. Bye-bye.